Hello, my fellow traders. It is I, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea per. And I am here drinking nothing because I drink all my drinks. But what I do have is my cup mug. And since it's just me, that means to say panel full of cup mugs, panel full of cup mugs, Traders Edition. And you can get your cup mug at lanag'screations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses, unless there's some excuses, like some delays might be happening. But a delay is not a denial. So you can still get it. Some places it might take a little longer to get there, but it will get there. And I don't know if I did, but just in case, welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am here all by myself, all alone. I got rid of my other fellow traders. Maybe I'll recruit somebody else. Well, who knows? We'll see. But I am here to talk Traitors UK episode 3. And baby, baby, it is, baby, it is getting good. It is getting really, 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 really good. And I am so excited to talk about it because, y'all, I just not expecting this season to pop off as like this good. Like, I mean, I knew it was gonna be good because I definitely enjoy Traders anyway, and UK Traders has never done me wrong. It's never never done me dirty. So I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't think it was gonna be this good this fast. But it was really good. So we're gonna get right into it because um yeah, we're gonna get right into it. I'm just let me bring in my chart because I don't like to be here all by myself. I'm gonna change that. That just feels a little wrong for me to be that big. That's that works. I shouldn't be as big as the thing. I mean, it's about me, but not that much about me. Is it? No, it's that much about me. But anyway, so let's get started from where we left off. We lost Ellen in the last um banishment, and everybody was still on this whole cast train. Like after the banishment happened, people were like, I don't know, something about Cass and his behavior. Mm, it's just not sitting right with me. And a lot of people were on his neck, honestly. They were like, we feel like he might be something. And it seemed like those suspicions didn't go away. Like, it didn't go away too tough at all. It I'm going to take off this thing, the logo, for just a second so we can see everybody's face. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at stuff and I'm like getting distracted. Like, I don't want people to be covered. So I'm gonna take that off so we see everybody. But anyway, so his name was brought up, and it's just it just he felt blindsided by the fact that he got so many votes at the round table, and he's just like starting to panic a little bit and starting to freak out a little bit because he was like, my intentions were good. I literally am getting, I guess, chastised or picked to be a traitor because of a toast. Like, I made a toast and now all of a sudden I'm a traitor. It he didn't like that. And people were really on his case. Like Jake was like, I am for sure that Cass and Linda are traitors because she said she was 100% sure that Cass was a faithful. Like 100% sure. And how can you be 100% sure if you are a traitor and you know he's a traitor, or like how could you be 100% sure that you know this person is a faithful if you unless you're a traitor? And so Jake is on the train where Linda is trying to protect Cass, and they are all traitors together. And then the conversation kind of shifted. um well, all this happened the next day because everybody came to breakfast. We all knew because nobody got murdered. um They were all safe. And so the turn was really just Armani telling Mina and Linda to step up their game. They're not doing enough. But everybody came to breakfast. Everybody's, calm and happy because everybody's there. But like I said, Kaz's name was not leaving people's mouths. And they were like, it just seems weird that Linda said that. And then Alex, who decided to step up out of the woodworks, we were seeing more and more Alex in this episode was like, yeah, I feel like it's Armani. I feel like she has come, she has this air of confidence about her. Like she knows she's okay and she's talking a lot, she's being loud, and maybe that's her strategy of trying to throw people off. Um, He's like, it's something about Armani. And Alex mentioned that to Mina the night before, and Mina decided not to say anything to Armani about it in the turret because Linda told Armani that Leanne was looking at her, and she was like, "Ah, it's just one person. I'm not that worried. It's fine." And I think we can, there's not too worried about that. But it was more than one person. Alex also said it. Tyler has been talking about it, and Mina has heard all of this. And Mina is like, yep, okay. Not gonna say anything. Not gonna say anything. Armani was very much still like, we're just gonna try to throw it onto Charlotte, and that's how we're going to play this. That's how it's going to work. Um, but then Leanne again mentions Armani, and she tells the people who are already suspicious of Armani, it's like, I just feel like it's Armani. And then Leanne tells Mina, and Mina is like, yeah, I I mean, I'm hearing that. You're not the first person to say that. And she is a lot, she's a lot one of the big personalities. And I don't know. I don't know. Not particularly throwing her under the bus, but not stopping the bus from rolling her over if necessary. Um, we have the boys, Joe. These are who I like to call the boys, Joe, Dan, and Jake. They have this talk, and sometimes you throw Tyler in there. But they just have these suspicions. Like these are gamers. Like Dan is a gamer, and Joe is a gamer. And like they are like got their thinking caps on, and they're like, hmm I just think it's a connection between, Armani and Cass, because later on in the day, after breakfast, after they were told it was a mission, and um Claudia asked them if they like Johnny Cash, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, something to do with Walk the Line or Ring of Fire or things like that, all associated with Johnny Cash songs. And um they were like, it just seems weird how some people are acting these days, right now. And I think it was Tyler. No, I don't know if it was Tyler. Or somebody was talking to Armani, I can't remember who was talking to Armani. I think it was either Jake or Joe. I think it was Joe. Joe was talking to Armani and somebody else, and Armani was just like, I don't know. I just don't see. He was mentioning Cass, and he was like, I don't. She's like, I don't see Cass as a traitor. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it's just my gut. I don't know. And that person, Joe, went right to his crew and was like, it's Armani. Armani definitely said that Cass is 100% a faithful. And I believe she's protecting. So I think it's Armani. So Joe, Alex, Dan, all on this Armani train. They were on it. Jake joined in after a while when he heard that Armani defended Cass. They still think Cass is part of this traitor trio. It's just a lot. Livy is feeling still bad about Ellen. She's still trying not to cry every time somebody mentions the round table. And then we get some backstory on Livy where she was talking about her how she was like, I talk. I don't I'm a little boring, but she talked about her prosthetic eye that she has. And I was I was wondering because I was looking at her and I was like, her eye. And like me, like I have this blue eye, and I always notice people's eyes a lot because of my own personal um vision journey and things like that. And I was noticing, I was like, it's something. I mean, she's gorgeous, she's a beautiful girl, but I was like, is something going on with her eye? And I don't know. To come to find out she has a prosthetic eye, and I was like, wow, it's really good. It's really good prosthetic eye. She looks really good. If you don't stare long at her, you won't notice it, but it's a good eye. But I was shocked, I was surprised by that, and I was like, "Wow, okay, cool." Number 1, did not know that was something. I have to call my doctor. No, I don't think that'll help my vision issues, but I was very shocked that she had that and that was a thing, but this gave backstory. This made me a little nervous for her though too, because I was like, "Wait, while we getting backstory?" But I remember we did get backstory about Tyler in yesterday's episode as well. So I think we're starting to get personal stories about people, and which either they're going to have a role, a longevity in this game, or soon to go. But I think it's the longevity for her in this game. I don't think she's going to go out being banished anytime soon. I think if she goes, she gets murdered. That's my personal opinion. I think if she goes, she gets murdered by the traitors if she is not recruited into the traitors at some point. But yeah, interesting. It was interesting. But her story, she seemed like a really really cool chill person. I was very happy to get her backstory. But she didn't cry. She kept it together. She didn't cry too tough. So I was very happy for her. But she was still emotional because she's like, I hate getting things wrong like that. I felt like I was the reason for her elimination, and but just a lot of talking and trying to mingling around. We get to the challenge because that's where I want to go. The challenge is they have to get on this big old Viking like boat and row out to the different pontoons to collect fuel and chests of money, different amounts on different pontoons. And this boat was big, huge Viking boats with these big oars, and they had to figure out how to row out into that and get to the end to light this ring of fire. And anybody who is standing on in the ring of fire, once it is lit, all get a shield and they will be saved from murder. And so, of course, people hear that and they're like, oop, safety, immunity, and as many of us can get it as possible. Okay, let's see what we can do. And so they get on this water, and Francesca has decided that her and Lisa are going to lead and direct people on this boat, and everybody else is going to row. The rowing started off a mess. The rowing started off a mess. People were not following instructions. Some people didn't know how to row. The rhythm was off. Trying to get them actually moving in the right direction showed to be a bit of a challenge, but eventually they got it. They got the rhythm. They were rowing. They were rocking and a rowing and getting it done, and eventually got their rhythm. They get to the first pontoon, and Claudia's like, they don't know this, but when they get to the pontoon, a big sacrifice has to be made. So when they get to the first pontoon, it's the fuel. But in order to collect the fuel, they have to sacrifice two people. Two people have to get off the boat and shackle themselves to this pontoon. So they only have an hour to do this, complete this mission. And so they're like, who's going to get off? If anybody's going to get off, we need this fuel. Two people have to go. Some people are like, baby, I'm sitting. I'm not going anywhere. There's no way you can get me off this boat, which would have been me. I would have been like, absolutely not getting off this boat. There's no way. There is no way you get me off this boat. Don't care what's happening. But nobody wanted to move. Um, it got to a point where they were like, we need this fuel, y'all. We got to get the fuel. So Charlotte eventually volunteers herself to get off the boat, and Jake follows behind her. And so they get off the boat, they get the fuel, and they were like, go get this money for us, y'all. Go get the money. And so the boat pulls off. They get to the second pontoon, which is a treasure chest, $2,500. And nobody wants to get off the boat. They're like, are we getting off? They're like, I'm not getting off this boat. Are we getting off? We're not getting off the boat. So they like, pass it, let's go. So nobody gets off the boat. They pass up $2,500. And Charlotte and Jake are like livid in this moment. They're like, wait a minute. Why did we just sacrifice ourselves to get off this boat if they're not even going to collect the money? Like, isn't this whole thing about collecting the money? And they're not trying to collect the money. So what are we doing? What do we do this for if we're not trying to collect this money? So people are mad. They are upset. And it's horrible. It's there. Well, not people are upset. Charlotte and Jake are upset because they're like, these people are selfish. They're only in here for themselves. And I'm like, duh. What game do you think we're playing here? This is not a game of everybody's going to look out for everybody. This is a team challenge. Only no. Some people are going to leave. A lot of people are going to leave this game. Everybody's not going to win. And I don't want to be one of the people to not win. They were all thinking about safety, and that's what they wanted. So they I don't know what game Jake and Charlotte thought they were playing. But then we get to the second amount of money is the second, I think it was fuel. No, the second amount was money. Nobody gets off the boat. So it was $2,500. Second pontoon was money. I mean, third pontoon was money. Nobody gets off the boat. So of course, Jake and Charlotte are livid, fuming in this moment. Um, so as they're continuing on, Mina is getting annoyed with Linda because Linda's telling her how she's rowing wrong. She's like, what do you mean I'm rowing wrong? I am pulling when they say pull. It's like pull, pull. And Linda's like, no, it's pull, pull, And she was like, no, it's pull, pull. A lot of arguing for honestly no real reason at all. But she was just getting on her nerves. Mina was like, you know what? I am off of this boat. I can't take it anymore. This is driving me nuts. So when they got to the next pontoon, which was fuel, Mina was quickly jumping off that boat. She was like, get me out of here. I can't do it. And Cass decided to get off the boat too. And so they get off the boat. They're fine. And they like, she was like, I just couldn't take it no more. I couldn't deal with it. It was crazy. I can't. So then they get to the last pontoon, which was $5,000. And Maya gets off along with Freddie. With Freddie had been struggling with the rowing anyway. So he kind of was like, Yeah, nah. I uh I'll get off. It's fine. And he makes a statement to Maya and it's like, I hope they don't win. I hope they don't win. I hope they don't get to the safety thing. And Maya was like, hmm, interesting you say that. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking, yeah, let's all win because we need this money. If they don't light the ring of fire, we don't get the prize pot. That's what I was thinking. But Freddie is here thinking, I hope they don't win so none of them get safety. And she's like, but if they don't get safety, we don't get the money. That's yeah, the math ain't mathing. So, and now Maya is very suspicious of Freddie in this moment because she's like, he's strategizing, trying not to get the money. Feels like a traitor thing to do, sabotage. But I'm like, yeah, but no, because the traders would have stopped, made sure nobody got a vote for the fuel, not for for money because they need the money in the pot for them too. But you know, people look at things differently. But they get to the end, they light the ring of fire, and everybody but Freddie, Jake, Maya, Cass, Mina, and Charlotte are now safe. They all have nobody they won't be getting banished. They have shields, so they can't be banished, and everybody is thrilled. They have safety and they won't be banished. Um Meanwhile, Jake and Charlotte are sitting on the pontoon with Mina and Kaz on their pontoon and Maya and Freddie, and they're just waiting for somebody to come get them. Everybody gets back to the house. They're preparing themselves for the round table. They're getting something to eat. They are talking about who they think is, you know, traitors, what they feel happened on the mission, anybody stand out. Linda was being very quiet. People asking her, like, who do you think? I think Anna asked her, like, who do you think? Do you have any names? She was like, no. Or well, it might have been Leanne. It's like, you don't have any names? She's like, no. She's like, I find it weird that you don't even think you don't have an idea who's the traitor. She's like, I just don't have any idea. I have ideas who I think are faithful, but I don't have any idea of who's a traitor. So basically to me, I what I've realized in this game, people need you to at least have ideas and thoughts. And if you're a traitor, if you heard someone's name, the best bet is to just keep saying that person's name. Like, I have my suspicions. I still think Charlotte could be a traitor. Like the traders come up with a name, and that's who you kind of push. Like that's I suspect her, or I suspect this person, and then you just keep saying that person. Like I still don't really have a relationship. I hadn't talked to Leon, or I haven't talked to Alex, so I don't know. But I have a suspicion about Charlotte. Like you say something, but you don't say too much. You have to find the perfect balance. And Mina, to me, is finding that perfect balance. Like she's saying enough that people believe she's faithful, but she's not saying too much where it's starting to incriminate herself. And that's where Armani and I think Linda have to figure out that balance of what's enough and what's not enough. Like Linda's not saying anything, which is causing suspicion, and Armani is saying too much, which is causing even more suspicion. So it's wild. It is wild. But um Alex is on the Armani train. He's stuck on the Armani train. He is ready to pull the pin in that Armani grenade at the round table. He's like, that's who I think. I'm ready to talk about it. That's my thoughts. Cass is still a little freaking out about if his name is going to come up again, all because of this same toast. And baby, people were preparing for this to be a wild round table, and it delivered. it it was just that. It was a wild round table, and I'm ready to talk about it. So, um, they get to the round table, and they are About they start, and Jake right out the gate is like, "Can I start? Can I start? Look, I got things to talk about. I want to do this. Let's start." So Jake like, "Okay." So Jake is like, "Linda, I still think you might be a traitor for the reasons that I've already said. Um, I think that you mentioned that Cass can is 100% not a traitor, and I don't understand how you could say anybody is 100% not a traitor unless you know for sure because you are a traitor." And Linda was like, "Yeah, you know what? Yes, yes. Saying 100% is probably the wrong words. I shouldn't have said that. I just feel like I don't think he is just truly think he's a faithful. It's just in my gut, and I'm just going with that." And Jake's like, "Mm-hmm." Then he was like, and then um Armani, I feel like you could be um a traitor as well because I feel like you're protecting Cass, who I think is a traitor, and I feel like you, Linda, are protecting him, and you're like you're sure he's not." And she was like, "What? What do you mean?" She's like, "I don't. I just felt like he isn't, and it could be my naivete. It could be just me, being stupid, but I just think he's not. I just don't think he is a traitor. It's just me. I just feel like he's such a good guy and such a good asset to the faithfuls that I don't think he would be a traitor. That's just my personal, thought." And she was like, "I could be wrong, but I just think he's not." And so Joe, no, and so then he turns his attention to Cass, and I think it was it Jake who said it, or yeah, Jake said it. Jake was like, "Cass, I think you could be a really good trader for these reasons." And he lists off these reasons. And he was like, "You're a doctor. You're a good person." And he said, "I feel like you could be a doctor by day and murdering people by night. It's just like, it just feels like it all fits." And Cass was like, "Wait, you are attacking me or accusing me of being a traitor because I have a job? Like, is that what this is? It feels like you're just," and people were like, "No, no, no." And so he mentioned some doctor, I guess it's the doctor who was like Dr. Kevorkian, that we know. It might be a famous doctor in the UK that or somewhere that was, a doctor and killing people. And he was like, "So you're comparing me to this person because, I'm a doctor?" And they were like Alex took offense to that. I was like, "Oh my God, no, no, that's too far. Like, that's too far." And Joe was upset about it. And Joe was like, "I didn't have my eye on you until the way you just reacted, Cass, about Jake's claim. I think that's too much. And I think that you might possibly be the a traitor because your reaction was just too like it was too defensive and too it's just much." But then Alex jumps in and was like, and says his claim about Armani, and Armani is shocked that people are bringing up her name. And she was just like, "What? I, I don't. I'm not a traitor. I feel like I've been, I had suspicions on everybody else." And so Tyler was like, "I just feel like it would make any sense for two sisters to be in a game and one of y'all not the traitor. Like, it doesn't make sense to have two sisters in the game and both of y'all faithfuls. One of y'all have to be a traitor, and I feel like it's you." And she was like, "Well, I kind of felt like," she was like, I mean, I understand why you would think that and why you would say that, but I am not." She said, "I had my own suspicions that maybe Maya was a traitor, and so I don't know." And so I was like, "Oh, it's getting to that point where the sisters gonna have to fight each other and like defend themselves and point out one or the other." And so somebody asked Maya if she ever thought that Armani was a traitor, and Maya was like, I mean, I suspected her at some point because I felt like something was off, but I don't want to. I don't think to say that." And she was like, "I mean, I suspected it, but I don't know." And so a lot of people were just like, I don't know. I don't know. She just feels, mm. And so Maya puts her attention. She was like, I have my own suspicions of people. And Freddie, that's you because of how what you said on the pontoon when we got off the boat that you hoped they didn't win. And it made it look like you were hoping that they wouldn't bank the money. And it felt very traitorous to me that you would say something like that. She said, because my first thought was, I hope they do win and bank this money so we can have this money at the end. And Freddie was like, I mean, I understand why you would say that. And I get that, me saying that probably put some, something in your head, but I'm not a traitor. And I was just in the heat of the moment, I was very, not happy with how I felt I was being treated on the boat. I felt like people were, looking down on me because of how I was rowing and how I was struggling. And it wasn't, my finest moment, but it was a moment that I had after getting off the boat. And so it was kind of like, but and towards the end, everybody, those who were coming for Amani was coming for her. And she was stumbling and fumbling over her words, trying to like, I don't want to go home because of this. I'm not a traitor. I'm a faithful. I just want to be here. I don't like she didn't have a good convincing argument against why she wasn't a traitor. It was just like I think she just felt the pressure and the walls were coming down around her and she just had no argument. It was just like I'm caught. And she had no argument to come back from that. And in the end, it was just like the vote happened and it was people got votes. Freddie got a vote, Charlotte got a vote, um, Cass got 3 votes, um, Jake got a vote, um, I said Freddie, I think I said Freddie. Yeah. Joe got a vote. But in the end, the person who ended up getting banished with the most votes was Armani. And she got the most votes. Armani got banished from the game. And she gets up and she's, saying how she had a blast playing this game with everyone. She enjoyed her time here. And she announced that she was, in fact, a traitor. And everybody was like, yes! Woo! And Maya was sobbing. She was sobbing before. She was sobbing as the votes came in. She was crying when the votes came in. And she was sobbing when um, Armani got banished and then was sobbing again more when she found out she was, in fact, a traitor. And here's where my problem came in with Tyler. This is my problem with Tyler, and this is my problem with a lot of um um some of these gamers and these men in these games, especially these men, because they feel like I feel like they have no compassion for people. You're not playing the same game that Maya was playing. You're playing a game because you were here by yourself, solo, dolo, player. You didn't have to worry about anybody else. Maya came in with her sister and knowing that they were going to be targeted at some point. And as much as this is a game, it's still real life feelings. And for Maya was heartbroken that number one, her sister was being banished from the game. Number two, her sister was actually a traitor. And she had to let all of this process and sink in. And Tyler, in that moment, had needed to say, I mean, I get she's your sister, but come on. It's a game. Like, bruh. Mm, 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 mm. Shh, 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 shh. Give her time. Let her have her moment. Give her her space to process these real, true emotions that she's feeling right now. Yes, she knows it's a game. They know it's a game. Her sister, they came in knowing they were playing a game. But real life emotions are real. That's still her sister. If you were playing with someone close to you, it doesn't matter that it's just a game. You still want your person that you're with to do well. And that moment, her dreams are shattered. Her sister is gone, and she has to deal with that fact that her sister is no longer going to be there. And she has to now shift her how she plays this game because she was playing with, even though it was still a individual game, it's very much an individual game, but it's comfort having someone who is there. Now she has to rely on her, and because all y'all are strangers. So I'm like, Tyler, relax, bruh. Like, calm it down, and like, it's still a game. She should relax. Like, come on, like, you relax. You relax, Mister. I ain't never had no girlfriend till in my life. I'm 29. Relax. You've been living your life solo dolo your whole time. So relax. Other people have real emotions when people who they care about. And I'm sure you have people in your life who you care about. If something happens, you'll have real raw emotions. This was a real moment. Let her have her moment. Like, it doesn't have to be, we don't have to turn off our humanity and turn off our emotions just because it's a game. We can do both. You can have both. But Maya was dealing with it. She just needed to process. I'm like, she just needs to sleep on it. But she really can't sleep properly because she is up still for banishment. One of the few people who can be banished, which is still Freddie, Jake, Maya, Mina, and Charlotte and Cass. And so has to process not only losing her sister, finding out she was a traitor, but she could also be murdered tonight. So, yeah, Tyler, let her have a moment. Let her process these feelings. It's okay to be human, even in a game. Okay? Thanks, thanks. But yeah, she was processing, going through. Everybody was still excited, which they should be very excited that they called her traitor. Everybody was happy about that. And um they should celebrate. And so I wasn't upset with them celebrating. I just didn't like how he was trying to take away Mina from processing her moment. But everybody was like, oh, it's definitely Cass. Some people, not everybody, some people were like, yep, it's definitely Cass. It was Armani, it's Cass, it's definitely them. And Jake is back on it. It's the Armani, Cass, Linda trio. It's them. Very happy nobody is saying Mina. Not one person suspects Mina, and I love it. I love it. I live. But uh, so the boys, the Jake, Dan, the Joe, they are like, the Tylers. They definitely think it's Cass and Linda at this point, and they're like, oh, it's definitely Cass. We gotta get him out. He gonna walk in the next day. He's definitely walking in, and so everybody's gone to bed. They are hoping to see those 6 people who are up for banishment are hoping they see breakfast in the morning. We know Mina is going to be at breakfast in the morning, and her and Linda have to banish someone, so they can't recruit because of the rule. So they have to banish someone, and they are talking, and Linda is shocked, still processing and shocked over how Armani was voted out, and Mina voted for Armani. But Mina was like, remember when I was trying to talk to you, Linda? And she kind of tried to get her to find her and have a conversation with her earlier on in the day. But apparently that didn't happen. So Mina wasn't able to tell Linda what was going on. But um, Mina was like, she was just thinking it was nothing we could do. If we would have tried to protect her, it would come back on us. So I think it's good that we had to do it. And Linda was like, no, I get it. She was saying she was doing too much. And yeah, I get it. And so then they started to discuss who they should murder. Linda again said Jake is out of the question, not right now because there's suspicions on me. And Mina was like, yeah, maybe in the next a couple of murders, but right now we can't do Jake. Um, um, so they were talking about all the people they were going through, and so they landed on possibly either Maya, because they were like, we could get both sisters out of the game right now. That would be interesting. Um, and I don't even think, well, and they said it could put the suspicion on Freddie because Maya and Freddie had a thing at the round table. They were like, Cass is going to get banished, so we can leave Cass alone. We don't even have to worry about it, which is very smart because Cass walks in and people will be like, yep, Cass is a traitor. Cass is definitely a traitor. And so they were like, what about Charlotte? We could get rid of Charlotte and or Freddie, because they were like, the we can get rid of that. They were thinking about breaking up the Jake and Joe situation, but they were like, well, not right now. But so I think the three that they landed on was Freddie, Charlotte, and Maya. And so we see them writing it down, sealing it, and delivering it. But then, before they leave, it says a few miles away, which is what myself and David were talking about. And what our suspicions were. Because we see these people on a carriage with masks. And then it's at the end it said rail something. I can't remember, rail reduction, rail. But the people from the train who got disembarked from the train, they're coming back in this game, I think. In some way or another. Somehow, some way, some capacity. We are going to see Faja, Jake, Jack, and Alexander again. Now, do all three get back in this game, or one of them get back in this game? I don't know, but in some capacity, they're coming back. And we kind of figured that was going to happen, because they never said that they were eliminated from the game. They just said they weren't going to get to the castle by train. The journey stops here. They won't go, they won't continue on in the journey. Never said they will get out of the game. So there's that. So I believe we will see Faja, Jack, and Alexander back in this game very soon, at some capacity, one or two or three. Either way it goes, I can't wait to see what happens. I cannot wait to see what happens. We do have a quick little draft update. With Armani being gone, now Logan is down another player. So me and David are still have the same amount of players. Logan is down one more person, but could gain back if Faja comes back. He can gain a person back. If Alexander comes back, I will gain another person. Or if Jack comes back, David will gain another person. So we'll see what happens. Good week of traders this week. Very excited for next week. And I will be back with more people, I think, maybe, possibly. We'll see if I recruit some more traders to join me on this journey next week. But y'all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. We hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we drop. Follow us on all of our audio podcast channels. Our audio podcast links will be in the description below, as well as all of our other YouTube channels. I can talk sometimes. It's just not today. But all of our audio podcast channels, our YouTube channel links, all of those will be in the description below. Please follow all of them. Our Patreon is in the description below, the Patreon link, so you can get early access and exclusive content across all 4 of our channels. And you can follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and Blue Sky. We're on all of those platforms until the platforms kick us out, like TikTok very soon. Get your merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Get your cup mug or any of our cup products merch. And yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to get out of here. So cheers, y'all. Cheers and bye.